We ask God to watch over the Haas family, as well as all of our veterans and their families. Remind us always that freedom, peace, and possibility can and will triumph now and forever. Amen.
Married his wife just minutes or hours before he shipped off to Fort Dix after being drafted to go to basic training. And some other interesting things was he started the Ray Ranellucci Jr. post that was in Rensselaer, right? He started that post in memory of his nephew who was he was killed in action in Vietnam. So I had a lot of fun talking to Jim, and we're going to learn more about his life and service here shortly. But today's John's memory and his legacy lives on today.
I think it says a lot that he took the time to, in memory of a loved one, to establish the post in Rensselaer, and to also lead in many ways in that post designation. And then to know that has been reflected in you and the work that you do here at the local post and serving as commanders. So we thank you for all that motivation that he inspired. And certainly it sounds like everything he did with great pride. And look at that effort that he made as a groundskeeper. I'm sure it was an awesome assignment that he took very seriously and wanted to make certain that the South Colony Central School District had his utmost response.
There was some very brutal fighting that took place in sickness, and it's often overlooked, but certainly not in the case of your family. And then when your father came home, what did he do? He lived a life of service again, working for the school, becoming a chaplain, starting a VFW post in Rensselaer, which I'm fond of, right? I get to represent both sides of the river, so I appreciate the connection that we were able to make today, but I'm more so appreciative of the fact of his determination to continue to serve. And it's not something that we often recognize or think about on a daily basis, but we need to. We need to understand that that value of public service is not finite. It doesn't just start in one place and end. It continues on and on, as we often see with veterans. And that tradition was planted by your father, and as evidenced by you, has been carried on. And I'm sure that those traditions will continue to be carried on throughout your family legacy.
The most distinguishing feature that I found, and Jim and I were talking about it this morning, is how John impacted the town of Colony. And that's why I'm here, because every day he went to work for our schools to make an outdoor environment nurturing for our students to continue to learn about leadership and advancement. And that's the kind of environment he created while working here in the town of Colony. And I certainly appreciate it. I know the school district continues to be fond of that kind of support for our children.
And that service is something that you are here witnessing in this room. People who served our country and have come back and are giving back to our community. And you never know where those people might be. Many of those students walking the halls and going in and out of the school may not have realized the contribution, the sacrifices that your father made, but they were among greatness. And so this also reminds us that we need to ensure that as we encounter veterans in our lives, in our daily lives, day in and day out, that we never forget to stop and say thank you and acknowledge the sacrifices that they made and the contributions that they've made.
I'm Kelly Nappy, the Chief of Staff at Waterville Arsenal. I'm here representing Colonel Schultz. He's the commander. He's away on business today. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here to join us. So he's asked me to give his gratitude, and on behalf of all of the people at Waterville Arsenal, our gratitude for family service and John's service.
He was a great man. He worked hard for our family. I have a brother, couldn't be here today. He's going through cancer treatments also. My sister, has an event that she had to be at, so she couldn't be here. But her husband's here, which I appreciate. But as kids, our first house was on Phillip Street in Albany, and then we moved to 702 Central Avenue. Then we moved uptown to 1193 Central Avenue. And then finally wound up in West Albany. But we moved around, but we've always been in Albany. So even though you're in Colony, we've always been in Albany. But that's what I remember about my father. And again, I thank everybody for being here today.